Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. If there has been one company or one brand that I've reviewed multiple products for that I've always been impressed with, in all honesty, it's been the Fanttik line of air compressors. There are 1,001 different portable AC compressors that you can stick in your truck, keep in your car, in your RV to air up your tires. There's a ton of them out there. And I personally use probably 4 different Fanttiks. I've bought 3 of them myself. I use one of them almost daily to air up my bicycle tires because I have the road bike tires and those have to be filled up almost every single morning before a ride. I have the really small portable, I can't remember the model name, but it is one of the Fanttik air compressors, and I'll put the model that I use down in the description below. But it does great. It's got a Presta valve adapter to air up my road bike tires. I've used it for about a year now. Again, probably 4 to 5 times a week. I also keep another one of their air compressors in my truck. I keep one in my RV. They're just fantastic. This is their biggest compressor that I have seen being offered from them to date. So this guy is actually an 18-volt air compressor, so it's gonna be way more heavy duty than their standard, smaller size air compressor. So this is the X9 ULTRA V12. And it is a pretty slick little setup. It's a little bit heavy. It's got a 92 watt-hour battery in it. It's got a couple of USB-C and USB-A outputs in the back that you can use to charge up your phone, your laptop, whatever you want to use it for if you don't want to save the battery for just airing up your tires, which is what I recommend. Go buy another power station if you want to use the battery inside this to charge up your phone. You're kind of eliminating the whole point of keeping this in your truck to air up your tires in an emergency if you're using the back of these to charge up your phone or your laptop. But it's there if you need it in an emergency. Huge screen up top, and I'll get a close-up of this. Once you turn it on, all kinds of data that you can look at, very bright. Even in the sunlight, depending on the glare. The glare is a little bit bad on this if you are out in full sun, I will say, but it's still a really nice screen, really easy to read. You're gonna have a couple of LED lights on the front, which is nice if you're airing up your tires at night. This will help you see all around you so you can find the valve on your tire. You can kind of see what's going on a little bit better. Doesn't come with much. Comes with this, of course, and a USB-C to USB-C charger to charge this thing up. So this does have a quick charge 3.0 USB-C and a power delivery USB-C that's going to output at least 65 watts. Some laptops need at least 100 watts to be able to really work and function, but the 65 watts is still a pretty good amount of watts that you can push into another device if you have to. But underneath, you've got where your hoses are going to be stored, so you don't have to worry about keeping up with your hoses. They just kind of wrap around the bottom right here, if I can get it pulled out. And it's actually a really nice long hose that they offer you. That's about 3 feet worth of air hose, and it does have just a screw-on valve screw. This is going to be your Schrader valve. This won't work with Presta, but you can get Presta adapters. But that is going to be your Schrader valve adapter. And then even in the bottom here, you've got another little compartment that's going to have all of your raft inflators, your baseball or your basketball inflator nozzles, all different kinds of nozzles that you can attach to the end of this guy. So in order to keep things from growing legs and losing them, you can kind of store it all in here and keep it nice and tidy. Because this thing is a little bit bigger, it's going to take up more space than the smaller little handheld, air compressors that I have. But I like that everything is together, and I don't have to keep up with anything. It does have some rubber feet on the bottom here, and that's just going to keep it from bouncing away. Because once you turn these air compressors on, they do vibrate quite a bit. But these rubber feet are really nice, and it kind of keeps it in one place when you actually turn it on. But gang, I think what I'm going to do, I keep my 35-inch truck tires set to 55 PSI on the front. I'm going to lower them down to 30 PSI to kind of simulate a flat tire if I notice it going down the highway. I'm not going to deflate it all the way to 0. These aren't made to inflate a 35-inch tire from no pressure at all. But a true flat, I would notice it around 30 PSI. So let's get this thing hooked up to my 35-inch tires, starting at 30 PSI, and see how long it takes it to air it up to 55 PSI and make sure it works like it should. So let's head outside. All right, so I've got my little digital, kind of pretty cheap pressure gauge, but it should do the trick for this video. But again, normally run these at 55. I have let the air out. We're sitting at around 30 PSI now. 30.5. There we go. Now let's get that Fanttik hooked up to this thing and see how long it'll take it to air up this 35-inch tire, 25 PSIs. All right, hopefully I'll be able to get this on screen with the camera, with the glare, but to turn this unit on, just press and hold that middle power button. And right now it's set to 35 PSI. I want these aired up to 55, so I'm gonna just hit the plus button and get this set to 55 PSI. So when this tire reaches that specified PSI, it's gonna completely turn off this unit. So you don't have to sit and watch the tire inflate essentially and make sure you cut it off. It will stop automatically at 55 PSI. Screw it into the tire, and it's showing 30.5 PSI, just like this did, so that's good. So we're just gonna hit start. And I'm gonna get my stopwatch going. You might not see it, but I'll let you folks know how long it takes to air it up this much. All right, we're at 54.5 PSI at 3 minutes and 45 seconds in. One thing you might be able to notice is the sound. There we go. Well, it stopped at 55 PSI. Oh, it's gonna air it up a little bit more. But you can notice that the sound, it does not jiggle around. These rubber feet really keep this thing in place, but it is a lot deeper sound than these little small air compressors I have that you can hear 2 streets over. This has a much more pleasing sound if you're, especially if you're out at the RV park airing up your RV tires. It's not quite as annoying as those other smaller compressors, but we are now aired up to 55 PSI, and that took 3 minutes and 51 seconds essentially. So that is, I'll take that all day long to put 25 PSI in a tire of this size. Before I put this thing up, if you guys can hear, it does have an internal fan to keep it cool. So that did work this thing quite a bit, but it actually is gonna cool itself from the inside with their internal fan, which is pretty cool. That's a feature that I don't have on any of my other little portable air compressors. So this thing also, like I said, has a light on the front. So let me show you how that works. But you turn the unit on itself, and then there's just a light button. Press it once, and you're gonna get this really nice, warm, kind of floody light. Press it again, and you're gonna get the cool, bright LED spotlights. And then of course you're gonna get your flashing SOS mode. I particularly like this floodlight pattern here. This is gonna kind of get the tire and everything that you're gonna need while you're actually having to air up your tire at night. It's gonna do it just fine. But let me also show you folks how you can like air up a raft. I just took the raft inflator, screwed it onto the end of this tube, and we're gonna push it in here to the little donut here and turn it on. Yeah, that would have been much easier for my wife than doing this by hand, but that aired it up pretty quick for this. And you can hear the fan going again. So every time you turn this thing on, it has an internal fan to keep the internals of this thing cool while it is compressing and blowing things up. But guys, overall, this thing is just great. It's not extremely small, but if you have room in the trunk or the storage basement of your RV, I think this is probably the best option to keep with you. It's gonna have, again, 92 watt hours, so you're gonna get 25 air ups if you need it. I would keep it topped off because these will eventually lose battery if you keep them in storage, but just make sure that it's topped off and this thing's gonna be ready to go. It's got that different sound to it. It's not that annoying high velocity type compressor that you get on a lot of these small compact compressor units. It's got that low rumble, so it's not quite as annoying as some of these smaller units. But I think this is on sale right now on Amazon for $169.99. It's a little bit pricier, but I think one of the smaller Fantiks that I bought was 99 bucks. And for basically 70 more bucks, I think this is probably the best option if you have room to keep it in. And anything Fanttik, I can vouch for Fanttik. I think they have great compressors. I've used them for over a year now, almost daily on some of mine, so I can vouch for the Fanttik name. I think they make pretty good quality products. So guys, I will leave a link for this in the description box below if you want to check it out. But other than that, guys, we'll see you soon. Take care.